Hey friends, what is it about a sunburst guitar that just gets me every time? What is it? And this time with a Yamaha FS700s. I think it's called a sandburst, and it's hard not to love this kind of a thing, isn't it? My word. Similar to the last one that I actually picked up, the FS800, which is a blonde top. This one came from a house with kids, and there's a surprise inside this guitar. I can barely see what it is, but when I picked it up, the lady who sold it to me was like, yeah, there's something inside. I was like, okay. The rescue part of this guitar is the mere fact that it is grimy, and I saw the pictures of it online. It looked like they let the kids play with it after they were eating cake with their hands, and so there's all kinds of fingerprints all over this thing. There's dust everywhere. I haven't even taken any dust off of it at all, but it's in fantastic shape. There's one little blemish right here that I see. Maybe once I clean it I'll see some more, but really this thing is in perfect shape. There's no nicks on the headstock, there's no nicks on the neck. There's nothing. This thing pretty much sat on a stand since it was brand new. It got a little bit of playtime, and you know how I know that? The pick guard has little scratches on it, but just like the last one, you can see right here, this looks like a blemish. The pick guard plastic is still on. So we get to peel that plastic off of this guitar. So this thing's gonna get just the same treatment as the last one did. It needs a cleaning. Then we're gonna polish it up. We're gonna get the strings off of it. I think I'm gonna give the fretboard an oil, but not necessarily because it's thirsty, but just because it's grimy. Headstock, super dusty. But tuners, perfect shape. And there's a surprise inside. I was going to see what that is, so let's get the strings off. This thing has original strings on it again, y'all. This way of winding, as you probably know, and we've gone over in other string changes here, the string is wound in between. And I don't necessarily, I may be a broken record here, but I've never had a problem with strings, so I don't necessarily know the benefit of that. Maybe this is a technique that comes from a slot-headed guitar, and they just do it here on a non-slot-head guitar, and because it has more staying power, more grip, I'm not sure, but I've never had a problem with my strings really slipping. I don't need to go that extra mile. But it looks fancy in a way. At least it looks like it takes more time to do, but maybe it doesn't. So this is this guitar's first string change. So in a way, it's a kind of new guitar. Not exactly a 50-year-old barn find or anything, but I get excited about this. I'm all about renewal. Let's renew this thing. The strings are really, really corroded, as you can imagine. I like to leave these aligned north-south here on the neck, so when I go in the new strings, they just go right on. The B and the E string both have gold ball ends here, which I'm not familiar with. Usually there's purple and silver, I think. I can't remember right now, but once again, another set of strings off to the bag of strings. Alright, take that saddle out. Everything on this guitar is just in great shape. Let's see what's going on in here. Oh, okay. Alright, it's just one thing. There it is. Oh, what's a rubber ducky? Okay, there it is. Oh, does it squeak? It doesn't squeak. That's pretty funny. It probably wasn't as effective in any way, shape, or form as a rattle from a rattlesnake. So I have just an old t-shirt here, and I'm gonna go with some water. Let the grime removal commence. Well, I don't know if you can hear the texture there, but it's really, it is covered Yeesh. This is so rewarding. Oh my word, that's a lot of dust. But I'm gonna reach inside just with the dry part here, just on this first back brace. There's a bunch of dust bunnies built up there. Ah, much better. Ah, much better. Somehow the bottom of this thing is really dirty. I don't know why that would be, but so rewarding. Wish I could really show. Look at that streak. Ah. Oh, so much better. Just a brief clean like that. Just a wipe down. What a difference. I'll just pop the nut off. That's okay. Yeah, actually fits right back in there snug. That'll be just fine. I'll probably pop it off again actually. There's a little red mark here on the nut. I wonder what it is. I'm not sure. It's not damage at all. It's just like this little red, like a marker almost. Someone took a little tip of a Sharpie or something. Alright, let's go on with some Stumac Clean and Shine color tone. Excellent. Feeling good about this here. So a little thought came into my mind recently. And a thought, simple sentence, don't stop playing. Making sure that I remember this particular phrase when I'm playing in public. Don't stop playing. And what I mean by it is, if you're playing a song for someone and you make a mistake, unless you're in like the first 10, 15 seconds of the song, don't stop the song. Nobody's hearing it the way you hear it, and even if they do, they don't care. It's a practice that I have adopted over the years, and I think it just comes out of necessity when you're playing out in front of people. You just keep playing. But I think it's good advice. I recently went to an open mic. You know, that's an affliction for some folks. They make a mistake and their inclination is to stop the song because they made a mistake, or to really kind of hesitate and break the song up a little bit, and just keep playing. We don't mind. We don't mind. We're here because we're all humans, and we all flub the chord sometime. That's really the truth. I'm recognizing that the bushings here on a couple of these are a little loose, so I'm gonna grab a wrench and just snug them down a little. And this is something that, if you're not familiar, like if these bushings get loose, sometimes your guitar will have a buzz that you just can't find, and you just want to make sure these little see this, the washer underneath the nut just kind of moves around if it's not just snug down, so keep an eye on that. I'll grab that wrench. I'm not sure you want to crank these things down. You just want to snug them down a little bit. Yeah, almost all of these are a little bit loose. So this is, yeah, they're all a little bit loose. So I'm psyched to get these things sorted out. The 6th string is very loose. There we go. Awesome. Alright, I'm going to give the fretboard a bit of a clean, but I did wash it already, you know, a little bit, so it's actually a lot better just from what I did. So this is just, it's flax oil or linseed oil. This rosewood bridge and fretboard just match the tone of this Sunburst so well. This whole guitar has a real nice vibe to it. And as I understand it, these 700 series are just older than the 800 series. And I have my 800 right here off to the side. I thought I'd do a little, just a brief comparison, just to see the difference, which I haven't done yet, because this thing I just didn't really want to do much to it until I cleaned it off. So I literally just tuned it up before this video, but I haven't done much to it. I just inspected it to see if anything was broken or cracked. Put it off to the side until I could do this video. Like I mentioned earlier, the fretboard actually, surprisingly, it isn't that thirsty. Well, this makes me feel a lot better about it. It's now clean, and just maybe the rag got a little oil on the guitar a little bit, so pull that off. I really like this this matte neck with the lacquered finish. Something about the natural neck I really like. So here we go. I did notice this thing will need a truss rod tweak, so once I get the string tension on it, I'm going to tweak the truss rod. Even with no tension on the neck, there's a lot of relief. With no tension on the neck, I can see that it's curved, it's concave. So combination here of the rosewood fretboard, this dark rosewood bridge, and this Sunburst, the tone of the pickguard. The binding is like mostly dark, especially from the player's perspective. It's black. It's black bound along the neck as well. There's not a lot of aspects of guitars that I really don't want, and I have discovered one thing I don't want in a guitar is a white binding on the neck. So that's just my own preference. Alright, D'Addario EJ16s. Here we go. Put the saddle back in. And the nut. We'll get this thing nestled in there. This is a perfect fit on the nut. Seeing as I have all the strings off, I can reach in here, check the ball ends, and they're all perfectly up to the top there. So, as I do each time, I want to make sure that the string winds underneath as it turns. It's easiest on the 6th string, but something to keep in mind as you go through the other strings. So I run that string right up the center and back through the tuners, which are pointed north-south here along the neck. And that gives me a half turn to start with. As soon as I start turning, that string end goes above the string as it reaches the post. And as always, what happens there is the string runs from the nut to the bottom of the post. This B string seems, for some reason, on all these guitars to be the trickiest to get the string to run underneath the new coils. I don't know why. But I do have, here on the couch with me tonight, I do have, check out this little thing. Whoa. But you probably can't see it, but the string is wound to the top of the post there. And it's above the coils, and so this string is running straight, almost straight to the nut, and it's actually higher. I can see that the 2nd string is higher than the 1st string here. I can see the 1st string underneath the 2nd string when I look across it this way. But most importantly, that string is just running from the top of the post to the nut. It's like a straight run, so it's gonna at some point buzz or give a weird ghost note. So last weekend, at the time of recording this video, I had 2 gigs, and the sound that I was getting out of my gear was so different in both gigs, even though I showed up to the second gig with pretty much the same levels in place. It's amazing that live sound is so so ever shifting, and it's really hard actually. It's really difficult. Man, I wish I had someone to keep an eye on me at every single gig. It would just make life just that much easier. Alright, so here I think what I'll do is I'm just going to bring it up to tension, and then I'm going to run the truss rod over it, truss rod wrench into it. Alright, that's up to tension. So I have my truss rod here. Not sure what size. Oh, this is a 4mm. Truss rod is buried in this one. It's pretty deep in there, so I don't have a long handle here. Let me get another one. Alright, this Allen wrench has just a little bit of a longer neck on the shorter side there. As you can see, it's a little blurry, but a little longer. Maybe I can reach and have the long side standing up to me. Ah, it fits nicely. Yeah, I needed just a little bit more there. So that, I know this thing needs a good tweak. So the action was definitely high, so I gave it about a quarter turn, and then now I'm giving it another, almost a quarter turn actually. Ooh, it's still got a lot of relief. And I'm gonna see if it'll take another tweak, a little turn here. So that was some big truss rod turning there. I wouldn't do that on a regular basis. This nut could use some filing for sure. Actually, would improve the action a lot if I file this nut down a little. It's gonna be okay, but I think to make this thing enjoyable, I will actually have to do a little filing. I'm actually wondering if there's a better saddle for this, or if I just need to file the bottom of that saddle down a bit. So I think optimal playability on this thing is going to require a little more tweaking, a little more than I had intended for this particular video. So let's tune it up, see what she sounds like. There we go. Now we peel the pick guard. Here we go. Let's make this thing today's new guitar. Brand new guitar, look at that. Ooh. Perfect condition pick guard. Bye bye plastic cover. Oh, before I go, let's see a brief comparison. Now that I've been playing that one, let's grab the FS. Yep, that's pretty much in tune. The FS800. Right away, the neck profile feels slimmer, much slimmer, and lighter. Okay, the 800 is lighter, that's for sure. And the neck profile on the 800 is slimmer. That's apparent right away to me, actually. Right away, slimmer there. Maybe just because there's more mass on the neck. I wonder, I don't know if there's more construction here at the heel. It feels a lot heavier here, that's for sure. Not an uncomfortable neck. I wouldn't say this neck is chunky at all, but this one has a much more slimmer profile, and actually goes into a little bit of almost a V here at the end. Oh yeah, this has a wider, a broader approach to the headstock. This one actually has a more slender taper here heading into the headstock. Not sure what it sounds like at home there. So at first comparison there between the two, I think that's all I can really decipher is the heaviness of the overall body of the guitar, here, particularly here in the neck and the heel, and the profile of the neck, a little fatter on the 700. So okay, one more thing I just realized. This 700 is almost a ½ inch thicker in the body than the 800. Check out the bottoms, the bottoms here. If I put them right on top of one another, got about a ½ inch overlap there. It's really thicker and deeper. And there we have it, our FS700 with the rubber ducky on the inside. Thanks so much for watching. Take good care. See you in the next one.